Now, you know that if you avoid controversial topics, if you just stay silent while somebody else is the only person speaking on a topic, then someone else is going to shape your reality. Someone else will control your reality. And so learning to think about, debate, discuss controversial topics, learning how to do that is going to make you a better person, a stronger person, someone who shapes their own reality and chooses their own destiny. But what about the SAT? Well, actually, this has a lot to do with the SAT. Learning this skill is the core of SAT reading. Let's try to understand why. Let's go through the steps. Once you understand that people will sacrifice their lives for an issue, and those are those big issues, things like abortion, capital punishment, things that people dedicate their lives, they will sacrifice their lives for these issues. Once you get how much people care about these issues, your brain is going to start to really understand the fact that people will put hours into a single paragraph of persuasion. They might spend a day or two picking just one word. That's because they care so deeply about persuading people that they will put absolutely everything they can into this paragraph or this page. Now you might say, whoa, spending a day picking a word, that seems crazy. These people are willing to die for these issues. They will sacrifice their lives for these issues. Compared to sacrificing your life, spending a day picking a word is just not that big a deal. Now, once your brain starts to read, it starts to understand how much people care about these issues, you're going to start to understand how much thought every writer puts into picking words, not just because they want it to sound pretty, because they want those words to effectively manipulate you. People will put that level of effort into manipulation. And if you understand how much effort's going into it, you're going to be able to see the way that subtle manipulation works. Now, many of the hardest questions on the SAT, on the hardest reading questions on the SAT, essentially ask you to explain some technique that the author is using. Why does the author do this? Why does the author use this word? Or what's the author's tone here? Or what's the intention here? Or whatever. Those types of questions can only be answered if you've really started to think about how much people care about issues and therefore how much they care about a single word. Somebody who's willing to sacrifice their life for an issue is easily willing to spend 5 or 6 hours just to pick a single word. Now, here's the thing. Most people read the way they think authors write. Now, if your brain believes that authors just basically pick whatever word kind of works, then your brain is just going to kind of skim over and read things, just be like, oh yeah, I guess this is as good a word as any to use here. But once your brain starts to realize the truth, which is that when people care deeply about a subject, they will spend hours to pick the right word, the most persuasive word, the most manipulative word. Once your brain understands that's what writers actually do, that there is no writer that just like kind of picks whatever word and yeah, that's fine, but that they choose those words so carefully in order to cleverly manipulate. Once your brain gets that, your brain's going to start to read very differently. You're going to start to think about, why is the author using this word instead of another word? Why use this structure instead of another structure? What's going on here? And what techniques is the author trying to use to manipulate? Once your brain understands how authors write, it will automatically and naturally start to read accordingly. And of course, all these skills will make you a more independent, critical thinker, less vulnerable to manipulation. That means it's going to be harder to manipulate you, and you're going to be much more aware of what shapes your reality.